Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ&A live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Today I will be answering your questions via Twitter, twitter.com/AaronRift, which is where you can get the latest WWE news updates for the time being, since apparently the @NoDQ.com account on Twitter got compromised, and I actually do not have access to it right now, despite the fact that I submitted a new password. It just keeps repeating the process where I go back to the page where it says your account may have been compromised. I cannot access the account right now. I contacted Twitter support, and now I play the waiting game. But in the meantime, follow @AaronRift on Twitter. I will also be answering questions via Super Chat in the chat room. Hello to everyone in the chat, and thank you to everyone watching live. Also, a big thanks to everyone watching on demand. And of course, I will be answering some questions via Skype. Right now, I have Skype closed. However, in a few minutes, I will open Skype. I do have one request. If you call in on Skype, please have just one question. I do want to try and get as many people on as possible. Try to stick to one question or comment, and of course you can plug or promote anything that you got going on if you call in. Let me start off with a Twitter question. This one comes from @BatmanFreak, F-R-E-E-K. Regarding somebody interrupting Elias, people say John Cena or The Undertaker. What about the Honky Tonk Man, since he's going into the Hall of Fame? I feel like some people would be disappointed if the Honky Tonk Man was the guy that came out to interrupt Elias. Now, I get it. We had Jeff Jarrett do it, and that was a cool surprise. But the thing is, that was a surprise. WWE did not hype up there's going to be a mystery guy interrupting Elias. With WWE hyping up Elias doing this performance at WrestleMania, the expectations are naturally going to be higher. I would be cool with seeing the Honky Tonk Man. I think it would be very entertaining. However, I think people will be expecting a bigger name. Somebody like Undertaker or John Cena or The Rock. Simply Noah Foster with the first super chat of the day. I'm used to saying evening, but it's 9 a.m. here on the West Coast. He's actually leaving to go to work, so take care, Noah. Thank you for that super chat. He says, support NoDQ. Have a great day, y'all. What do you guys think about Honky Tonk Man? Would you consider that to be a disappointment? Let me know in the chat room. Colin Andrew with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Colin. Thank you for the videos, Aaron. Shout out to the NoDQ NX team. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys check out those NXT videos. I like the fact that we have some variety on the NoDQ channel, 205 Live, NXT, Stephen, Noah, and everyone else. They all put in the time to talk about the shows. Check them out. They're up on the NoDQ channel. Reggie says it's a good cameo regarding Honky Tonk Man. Ryan says, I like that idea personally. Ty Marshall says, I would be fine with it. I would be too, but I just feel like fans would expect more and might be disappointed about it. And you'd see all the memes about it, how, oh, we were expecting John Cena, instead we get Honky Tonk Man. Bradley says, I would not be bothered by Honky Tonk Man showing up as long as the segment is entertaining. I agree with that. Gary says, I feel Honky Tonk would be cool, but this year's Mania has been lackluster. They need someone better. And Armageddon 1914 says, hi from Serbia. How's it going, man? Thank you for tuning in. That's part of the reason for doing this video right now as well. People on the East Coast are on their lunch break, and also people in the UK and that side of the world can actually tune in at a reasonable time. So I figured I would change things up here and do an earlier stream. Please spread the word. If you're watching this live, share a link to this on social media. So Marcus with a $2 super chat. His question is, WWE cutting tag team title matches at WrestleMania 35? That remains to be seen, Marcus. I've heard the rumor about WrestleMania having 17 matches, which I think is complete overkill. You guys know how I feel. It's too long. I would prefer WrestleMania be 5 hours tops. Yes, it is WrestleMania. It's a bigger show than usual. However, at the same time, I feel like when you start doing 7-8 hour shows, it's just way too much to digest. With that being said, I'm not really a fan of cutting out the title matches. I feel the title matches should be priority. The title matches should be a given at WrestleMania. Every pay-per-view, for that matter, should have the championships defended. All the championships. Another argument to not have too many of them, as far as I'm concerned. Cindy from hashtag Team NoDQ just left a $5 super chat, says, watching the review while getting my hair done, so your thoughts on last night's Virtue's Rage, especially Greg's run-in, thanks WTC champion. I enjoyed Virtue's Rage. I'm glad that Virtue and Greg figured out that little conflict they had. For those of you that are not familiar, Virtue said he was going to put up $100 for the winner of the Greg Cherry versus Jeff Meacham Iron Man trivia match, but he was mad because we did not have him on the stream while we were recording it. However, him and Greg talked things out, and I believe Virtue's going to pay up to the winner. I don't know. That's up to him, but, you know, I apologize to Virtue for not having him on when we were recording the match. He just wanted to make sure it was on the up and up, which it is. You know, I was very surprised with how that match turned out. I mean, it was very competitive, and I highly recommend checking it out. April 4th, Thursday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It will be YouTube premiered at that time. So thank you for that super chat, Cindy. Let's get another question in here, and then I will open up Skype for calls. This one comes from It's the Costanza, longtime question submitter. He asks me, is WWE moving headquarters a good idea? Think of the wrestling history walking in and out of that building since 1985. The bottom line is nothing lasts forever. Yes, we have fond memories of Titan Tower, as it's been known as over the years. However, WWE as a company has grown. They're arguably bigger than ever before. They have a lot of people that are working for them. And let's face it, WWE has the money to move to a much bigger venue, which is why they're doing this. It just makes logical sense for a growing company. That Titan Tower has just become too small for a company of this magnitude. They're paying a lot of money for it, by the way. It's incredibly expensive, but at the same time, they can afford it. They're making the big bucks. They got that Saudi Arabia money, so they can do it. All right, let's go ahead and open up Skype. Again, I would ask that you guys stick to one question for your call. Try to think of one really good question that you don't think I've answered before. And you can also plug or promote anything you have going on. Skype is now open. I will try to get to as many calls as possible, but no guarantees here. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with the Skype calls. I remember one time I did this, we had somebody that decided to make racial comments. So I apologize in advance if there are prank callers out there. We may get one or two. It's quite possible, but I'm going to try to be careful with the calls that I answer. Owen Finch is calling, so let's get him on. Hey Owen, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being the first caller today.
No problem. I got a big shoes to fill then because I got to ask good questions. So,
well, any question is good in my opinion. So what do you got for me?
So I don't know if you watched 205 Live Matters this week, but Cindy laid out the challenge for anybody in NoDQ.com that's been trashing 205 Live to watch either a match or a show. Are you going to take Cindy up on her challenge, or are you going to, not watch 205 Live? Because I think it's at least worth checking out one episode.
I know 205 Live has quality matches. My issue with it is that WWE does not consider it to be important. That was made clear when Enzo left the company and they had that tournament to crown a new champion, and then that match was on the kickoff. They took the cruiserweight segments off of Monday Night Raw, which leads me to believe that 205 Live does not matter as far as WWE is concerned. So if WWE presented 205 Live as something important, I would give it more time. But the fact is, I have to cover the major angles, the top shows, and I just don't have enough time to watch 205 Live. So unfortunately for Cindy and Noah, I don't think I will be taking them up on that offer.
Oh, I was hoping you would, but yeah, I can understand that. Noah and Cindy aren't going to be very happy with you, but
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, it's just so much to watch. Watching Raw and SmackDown is enough of a chore as it is, but I mean, it's quality wrestling. I'm not gonna bash it. You know, I just don't have the time to really watch it, and I'm thankful that Noah and Cindy and Stefan for NXT that they're covering that stuff and keeping people informed on it. So I think that that's really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. It gives people like me who's shown up before an opportunity to, voice their opinions on, the brand and stuff like that, and get their channels noticed and stuff too. So,
yeah. Blazin' Marley sent a $2 super chat. He says, Aaron loves Jeff's big nipples.
Interesting comment.
Yeah, it is. I'm getting the trolls even in the super chats. But anyways, thank you so much, Owen, for calling in. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Absolutely. I got 3 YouTube channels. We got CM Brothers. I'm starting a March Madness series on there. Owen the Talkinator should have a Breaking Bad review up on there, episode 9, season 5. Hopefully, if all goes well. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, hold on a second. Episode 9, I believe, is the first one of the second half of that season. Correct?
Correct. That's the episode at the end when
don't say it, because some people out there might not know the storylines.
Right. And then Wrestling Fortune 44. Me and Noah will be doing a retro wrestling review series reviewing WrestleMania 23, because that's the show we picked. So if you want to see Noah, go check him out on there. So
yeah, but the end of that episode, I believe it's the episode with the garage at the end, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's an awesome scene. Yeah,
that is a great scene from Breaking Bad. I love it. Anyways, thank you so much, Owen, for calling in. I really do appreciate it.
All right, have a good day, man.
All right, thank you. Take care, my friend.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Owen Finch. Mike B with a $5 super chat. Actually, Maka's calling in. Let me answer that. Whoa, that's interesting. Let's see who called in. We got like 2 people calling at once. How's it going, man?
Hello, Aaron. It's Maka. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Let me read these super chats real quick before I get your question. Mike B.
Right ahead.
Mike B with a $5 super chat says, I'm at work so I cannot be on. When do SummerSlam tickets go on sale if they haven't already? Thanks, Aaron. I have some bad news for you, Mike B, to quote Wade Barrett. SummerSlam tickets already went on sale, and that show is completely sold out. They pretty much sold out the pre-show, so you're going to have to, unfortunately, go to StubHub if you want to get tickets for SummerSlam. I would advise waiting it out, because tickets typically drop as you get closer to the event. Like, I would try to get tickets a couple days before the show, but I know for some people, they have to make the travel plans and whatnot, so you may just have to spend more money on tickets, unfortunately. It just sucks. And Colin, I'll try to get you on next. But anyways, so Maka, right?
Yep, you got it.
So what's on your mind, my friend?
So what do you think about this idea? Seth Rollins wins the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Night after, on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns turns on him. Sets up big storyline between those two, leading in, I guess, until SummerSlam.
I mean, we've been talking about the Roman Reigns heel turn for the longest time. It would be interesting now, the fact that he's getting cheered, and this is when WWE decides to turn him heel. That would be quite interesting if that happened. I would not be opposed to it, obviously, if done right. You know, I was making the pitch for Dean Ambrose to turn heel for the longest time, and look how that turned out. So I don't exactly have the most confidence that WWE could execute a Roman Reigns heel turn effectively. I really hate to say that. So I would like to see it though. With a good writing team, I think it would be very entertaining.
I mean, another idea I had was the night after he gets attacked by all 4 members of the Undisputed Era. That could set up something between him and Adam Cole, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen because Adam Cole's looks like he's going to be the guy right there in NXT for a while.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I mean, with Johnny Gargano going to the main roster now, I think Adam Cole is going to end up being the next NXT champion, and then he'll be carrying the brand for a while.
I mean, me personally, I don't really think Seth Rollins is going to win at WrestleMania, only because it seems as though now Vince McMahon finally got everything he ever wanted with Roman Reigns being cheered now.
Right.
So it kind of seems like if I had to make a prediction, I think it's going to be Roman and Brock at SummerSlam this year.
Would not shock me. I mean, I hate to say it, but I really could see that happening. And like I said before, you have 3 top baby faces challenging for the world titles. You have Seth Rollins challenging Brock. You have Becky Lynch challenging for the Raw Women's title. And you have Kofi Kingston almost certainly challenging Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Are we really going to have 3 happy endings with the underdogs overcoming the odds? I don't think all 3 of them are going to win. So if somebody's going to lose, I think it's going to be Seth, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I do think it's high time the Universal Championship is back on a full-timer instead of a part-timer, but I don't think that's going to be the case. If anything, I think if anyone's going to take that title from Brock, it's going to be Roman, for sure.
Yeah, would not shock me at all. Anyways, I got more calls coming in. Thank you so much for your call. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
No plugs, no promotes, just to say keep up the good work. NoDQ is awesome. You and Jeff are pretty awesome. And I would like probably in the future to do videos with you guys, hopefully panels.
Yeah, hopefully we can make that happen. I'm so backed up with trying to get panels done. I'd like to get some done soon, so hopefully we can make that happen. But thank you so much for your call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right, take care. All right, Smirtaza's calling. Let me answer this one. Hello, Smirtaza.
How's it going, Aaron?
Going good. Sorry, Colin. I'll get to you soon. Colin's been trying to call in also. Let me read off these super chats real quick before I get your question. OG85 with a $2 super chat says, Sting versus Undertaker soon in Saudi Arabia. That would be interesting. I mean, I feel like Sting would come out of retirement for that match. I think he even said in an interview that if he was going to wrestle one more time and take the risk with his health, he would want to face The Undertaker. He's been a really big proponent of having that match. So never say never, I guess. I mean, that would be an interesting match for Saudi Arabia, but only time will tell if that actually happens. And DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat, he says, no, McIntyre first, then Roman Reigns for the title. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, I could see McIntyre possibly pulling an upset victory over Roman Reigns. I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. I think it just depends on who's going to leave as Universal Champion. Will it be Seth Rollins or will it be Brock Lesnar? Anyways, what is your question?
Okay, so my question was that you have been very vocal about Triple H versus Batista. So this question might be a little bit controversial, but you have been very vocal about this match, that this match shouldn't happen ever since like the bill was started back in October.
Right.
So if this turns out to be the last match of Triple H, are you fine with this?
Am I fine with Triple H and Batista?
Yes, if this turns out to be the last match of Triple H.
The last match of Triple H. I mean, I think it should be. I mean, I really feel Triple H should have been retired for a while. I don't think
they've been teasing this on Raw.
I don't think it's going to be Triple H's last match. I don't think Batista's retiring him. I think Triple H will probably wrestle for like another 5 to 10 years, as long as he can do like the one match a year.
His contract was expiring at WrestleMania 35. His in-ring contract.
You know Triple H, he's going to keep going. If his body will let him wrestle, he's going to keep wrestling. So I would say the chances of him retiring are highly unlikely in all likelihood.
Yeah, but I hope it's the last match for him because he just barely wrestles and he can't wrestle anymore.
I agree on that 100%, but my gut feeling is we're going to see him continuing to wrestle in the coming
Anyways,
years.
what about your Twitter account, which you just said that was blocked by Twitter, the NoDQ account?
Oh, what about it being blocked? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I got a message saying the account may have been compromised, and then I tried to reset the password, and then it goes right back to the same message again after I reset the password. I've never had this problem before in 10 years of using Twitter.
Oh, I really hope that this problem sorts out. Anyways, thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
I just would like to plug in my YouTube channel. I would like everyone to subscribe it.
Sure thing.
I also upload related videos, and I'm just inspired by you. All I gotta say is.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for calling in, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
All right, take care. Okay, Ham Kana with a $2 super chat says, do you think Vince will go along with Fox demands? I think Vince will do whatever Fox wants because they're paying the big bills. Okay, here comes Colin Andrew. 1 second, Colin. Let me just finish this thought about Vince McMahon and Fox. So regarding Hamp's question, yeah, Fox is paying a lot of money to WWE. So I think they will bend and they will give Fox what they want because that's a big source of revenue. Colin, I can hear myself.
Yeah, I just hit mute.
Okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, that's my thought process on that. I think WWE will do whatever makes Fox happy because Fox is paying them big bucks. Anyways, what's on your mind, Colin?
All right, man. So first of all, good morning. How you doing?
I am doing great. It's a very nice morning here in Portland, Oregon.
It's a very cold one here outside of Cleveland, Ohio. I'll tell you that much. But we're 16 days out of WrestleMania, and besides a multi-man match for the Intercontinental title, where do you see it?
Intercontinental title. Good question, because there's no real clear direction right now. Bobby Lashley's the champion. I suppose it could be Lashley versus maybe Demon Finn Balor. I don't know. Or maybe a multi-man match. You just throw in a bunch of guys that don't have another match on the card. I think it depends on that whole scenario. Are we going to have 17 matches? If WWE's hell-bent on doing 17 matches, then yeah, we're going to for sure have an IC title match. If they decide 17 matches is too much, then I think there's a decent chance that Lashley just gets thrown in the Andre Battle Royal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, I feel it should be defended. I mean, it's, at one point it was the workhorse championship of the WWE, and now to see what it is just kind of astonishing to me. But I just wanted to get your take on that because, like I said, we're less than 2 weeks out, and there's no build for it at all.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame. Like, I feel like all the titles should be represented at the big pay-per-views, especially WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a shame about that. And they've been hot potatoing the title, as Michael Wayne said in the chat. I agree with that. It just don't really care about the title. And you think about all the prestige that title has over the decades. That title was like the workhorse title, and now it's pretty much an afterthought.
Yeah, I remember growing up as a kid, I didn't want to be WWE champion. I wanted to be Intercontinental champion. So
right, yeah, because Shawn Michaels had all those great matches. Bret Hart,
British Bulldog,
the list goes on.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, thank you so much for the call. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Yeah, I want to plug the NXT NoDQ team. The guys and girl in there are doing awesome stuff. Check out our latest video that you just posted today for NXT UK episode 35 that Steph and Jerry and myself did.
Right.
I want to plug Aftermatch Wrestling. And then I just want to give a quick shout out to my new fiance. So.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But again, thanks for taking my call. Thanks for taking the super chat. Keep up the great work. I always enjoy these videos, man.
Thank you so much. You have a great day, my friend.
You too, sir.
Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet you soon once I'm out there.
Definitely. For sure.
All right, man.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Tevin's calling in. Let's answer this one. Hello. How's it going, Tevin?
Hey, man, long time no see. Or actually, I was just watching you before I started calling you on Skype.
Oh, right on. Hold on 1 second real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. 1 second.
Yeah, sorry. Go for it. You can go.
Okay, DJ Whitey just sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, DJ. He says, is SummerSlam going to be the next meetup? What do you guys have planned? Thinking about making the trip? Yes, there is going to be a meetup for that. The day of SummerSlam, earlier in the afternoon, probably like a late lunch, like around 11 Eastern time. Go over to NoDQ.com/Toronto. That'll take you to the event page. We do not have a venue yet, but if you guys want to email me some suggestions, NoDQMISC@gmail.com, or you can tweet me or whatever. I'm definitely open to some suggestions as to where we can go for that. But anyways, thank you again for that, and that would be awesome to meet up with you, DJ. Anyways, so what's your question, Tevin?
Well, it's one question, like two tiny questions. I know you said, oh yeah, it's like kind of a check-up question for the last two. The first one, I'm not sure if you got my Twitter question last week, but I had asked you, what is your favorite upgraded song for a wrestler? Like my example that you used was Mark Henry's previous song when he was like in the late 90s or 2000s with Motorhead. So just like, who's your favorite wrestler who had a song change and it's a better song change for you?
Okay, so wait a minute. You were cutting out a little bit. Let me know if I heard that correctly. You're asking me, like, what was my favorite song that was changed from a previous song?
Yeah, like your favorite wrestler in their theme song.
Probably Batista, you know, when they added the lyrics to the original song that he had.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have that in my old phone.
I also feel like The Rock had better versions of his song as he went along. Like Jim Johnston would tweak the song depending on how The Rock's character evolved. And, you know, I really like the one he had from, I think, 99 to 2001. I think that was probably my favorite one.
I mean, well, you're talking about when he went Hollywood Rock or before Hollywood Rock?
Before Hollywood Rock, when he was at the peak of his popularity.
Yes, I fully agree with you. That's the best of his theme song, because once he went Hollywood Rock, I did not like his theme song because it slowed it down way too much, and it was just man. And then the last thing I wanted to will say at least was I had what is it? Super chatted you on Monday about me coming up the 60-minute Ironman match, and you said you didn't know, but I spoke to you a couple of times on these call-ins about the idea, and he was like, yeah, that would be cool to make it. So I was just like, hey, man. And then I know, like, literally like you said, as soon as I sent that message and you said you got the credit for it, I seen a few people in the in the chat room saying that they came up with the idea, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, because I know since was it season 2 of the Trivia Challenge, I had started putting that in the comments.
All right, well, I'm going to officially give you credit then for it.
Thank you, sir. I mean, I feel like you don't fully think I did, but thank you, at least you said it. That helps me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate the feedback and suggestions. And yeah, that Iron Man match one is a great one. And I can tell you guys, you're going to really enjoy that trivia match. It is epic, to say the least, without spoiling anything. It was...
Wait, you guys filmed it already?
Yeah, it's already in the can. It's done. Oh. It's ready to go. Oh, but it will be premiering.
April 4th.
It will premiere on April 4th, and I'm doing the live premiere so that way everyone can watch it at the same time, and you're not able to skip ahead if you're watching it live, so that way people can see the whole thing and everyone's watching it at the same time. I just think it works out better that way. But anyways, thank you so much for the call-in and supporting the site and sending in all the questions and ideas. I really do appreciate it. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Not yet. I'm working on this new YouTube channel reviewing movies and TV shows, but it's not like set up yet. But next time you have a call-in or even on the super chats, like a Monday or Tuesday, I'll just like put it in there for my super chat.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for calling in and supporting. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, take care. Have a good day. Have a safe drive. Looks like you're on the road, so take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so guys, I'm going to put Skype on... I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb for a few minutes so I can catch up with some of the text questions that I have. So I'll reopen Skype here in a few minutes. So for those of you still waiting to call in, just give me a few minutes here. Let me catch up on some of these text questions that I have. Colin Andrew just sent in a $2 super chat. He called in earlier. He says he's on Team Cherry. So I got to know, who are you guys rooting for, Jeff or Greg? Michael Wayne says, I will watch JM versus Greg at April 4th. Awesome match and awesome rivalry and no DQ history. Absolutely on that. Ryan says, I'm voting Greg Cherry. Caitlin says Team Jeff. Cindy says Team Cherry. Cindy says Cherry gonna be bygones be bygones. Bradley says Team JM. CC Drink says Jeff. Israel says Jeff. Chat Site Forum says Team Cherry Pie. Boston Punk says Team Meacham all the way. Chase Games says Team Jeff. OG85 Jeff. Screaming Sid says Team Jeff, sick of Greg. And Reggie says Team Jeff, Greg is the Brock Lesnar of No DQ. All right, let me get to a few more questions here and then I'll reopen Skype. They see me Rollins at Victor Cortez 94 says, if in the storyline he can choose whoever the hell he wants to face, why did Kurt Angle choose the most boring opponent for WrestleMania in a roster with over 100 other better wrestlers? It makes Angle look really dumb. I get it on one hand because Baron Corbin did all that crap to Kurt Angle. You had the whole general manager storyline and they've been feuding on and on for a while now. So it does make sense in that regard. But yeah, the announcement is really lackluster when you think about if this is Kurt Angle's last match, would he really want to face Baron Corbin last? So the problem here is that the fans were expecting something big. WWE was hyping this up. It was in Chicago. We thought maybe it would be Cena. That would be a nice way for Kurt Angle to go out. So yeah, it does kind of make Angle look a little lame, but you have to look at it from that perspective too. Baron Corbin's the guy that's been giving him hell, even though they've already faced several times over the past several months. Why not just face Baron Corbin on Raw? Why not just say, you know what, I'm on my retirement tour. I want Baron Corbin one more time before WrestleMania, and then I'm going to beat him, and then I'm going to move on to somebody bigger and better. Yeah, it's a flawed storyline. We'll see if WWE changes course. It's certainly controversial. A lot of people upset about it. WWE did acknowledge it on television. We'll have to wait and see if they decide to change course or if they're going to be stubborn and maybe they'll just do a quick squash where Kurt Angle destroys Baron Corbin and that's that. Who knows? But yeah, right now it feels pretty underwhelming. Oh My God Ruler just sent in his $2 super chat. He says, what are some options for Kofi Kingston to get into the match? All right, there are a couple of options for him. I think one would be New Day protests, similar to Daniel Bryan. They try to hijack SmackDown and do a recreation of that. Another option is that everyone threatens to quit. You know, everyone's supporting Kofi, although that really doesn't make sense that everyone's going to skip on a WrestleMania payday to support Kofi Kingston. But their argument could be, hey, if we all leave and walk out, then WWE doesn't have anybody. Although that's really far-fetched and hard to believe because WWE has so many people on the roster, so it doesn't even work now. Like in 2000 when The Rock and Mankind did it, where The Rock said, if you don't reinstate Mick Foley, we're all going to walk. You know, it was a much smaller roster, so it was more believable. Now I don't even think they could make that work. I mean, the other option is Kofi comes out, calls out Vince, and gets in Vince's face and says, are you a racist? Like WWE actually plays the race card and goes that controversial route with that. And then Vince just gets so outraged that he gives in and lets Kofi face Bryan at WrestleMania. So I think maybe one of those three, or maybe Linda McMahon shows up and says, all right, well, I'm going to give Kofi a chance. And Vince is going to have to go with what his wife wants. I like that idea that I think TGS brought it up or somebody, maybe it was me, the idea, like, if they could pull it off, I don't think they will, and I don't think WWE would go here. So I would say this is almost 0% chance of happening. But imagine if, like, Donald Trump showed up and said, I want Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania. Vince would have to listen to the President of the United States. That would be quite interesting, but again, I would say like 0.0000001% chance of that actually happening. Tony Braden with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Tony. Who are some of the worst managers? No DQ is the GOAT. Ooh, worst managers. See, I'm so used to doing best managers. Worst managers is a little bit tougher. I may need some help from you guys in terms of worst managers, because I'm trying to think about managers that didn't really stand out to me much. Mike Adamle, was he a manager? I don't even remember if he was a manager. I hate to say it, Mr. Fuji wasn't that good. He was often voted as the worst manager in the Wrestling Observer year-end awards. I know that might get some people upset. But the problem with Mr. Fuji, I mean, some people remember him fondly for the cane and the outfit, but he spoke in broken English. So the point of a manager is to cut a good promo, right? And somebody who can understand. And I could barely understand Mr. Fuji when he was talking. You know, he was a little bit entertaining, and I think that made up for it, but I could never really understand his promos that well. He's like, I want to see you suffer. And that's really all I remember from him. But yeah, I mean, he was definitely among the lower tier as far as managers go. Slick was all right, but Slick wasn't really great either. I love his music, but I didn't think he was a particularly great manager. And managers pretty much died out in the 90s. Johnny Polo was all right, you know, obviously better as an in-ring performer than a manager. So yeah, it's hard to say. Sonny Ono, he didn't really do a lot either, but he was okay, I guess. Let's see. Worst manager, Stacy Keibler. Yeah, I mean, you could argue some of the women like Deborah. I mean, Deborah did the whole puppies routine. But when you think of managers, the manager, the whole point of the manager was to be a great promo, especially for a guy that could not cut promos very well. I mean, that's really what the purpose of the manager served. The manager would do the talking for the wrestler. So yeah, I mean, Deborah really didn't talk. She showed her puppies, and that was her whole shtick. Cherry from Deuce and Domino, I don't remember doing much of anything. I mean, they would be considered valets, as Steven points out, but you could argue them being managers. You know, Elizabeth was a valet, although you could say she was a manager. And did she really do anything? Not a whole lot, but she was a focal point in storylines. So, yeah, it's hard to say with that one. I mean, it depends on what your criteria is for a good manager. If the criteria is they're supposed to be a great talker, then the names I mentioned earlier would be the top of the list. But if the criteria, you know, is just going out there and having a presence, then Deborah could be considered a good manager. Cindy with a $2 super chat says, worst special guest GM, me, Jeremy Piven. Yes, 100% agree with you, Cindy. Jeremy Piven and Dr. Ken, worst guest hosts ever. There were a lot of bad ones, though, but the Summerfest botch, to me, just stands out in history as like the most cringe-worthy moment, one of the most cringe-worthy moments in Raw history, and for sure with the guest hosts, that was at the top. Who is that guy that, man, he was the political guy. I think he appeared on the Slammy Award episode in 2009. You guys might need to remind me here of his name. I think he was a political guy, and I think even Vince hated that guest host spot. Like, that guy came out there, and Vince was reportedly furious with the guy and thought he did a terrible job. Dennis Miller, that's it. Thank you, Screaming Sid. Dennis Miller, he was a guy that was so bad that Vince actually apparently thought the guy was terrible and was very vocal about it. Al Sharpton, thank you, Chat Site Forums, another guy that I thought was not a particularly good guest host. A lot of them were not good because they didn't follow wrestling, and it was clear as day that they didn't give a damn about wrestling, and they were only there to promote whatever they had going on. And now we got these Saturday Night Live guys getting involved, which is just pure cringe. Like, I just watched that, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me here. All right, let's move on to the questions here. Let me do one more, and then I'll reopen the Skype app. This one comes from Tim, and this goes back to earlier, so I'll touch on it real quickly here. Do you think the WWE will use racism as an explanation for Vince's actions against Kofi? I don't think it's going to happen, but like I said earlier, it would at least explain why Vince has a problem with Kofi. I'm not convinced. Why does Vince not like Kofi? It hasn't really been clearly defined on television why he doesn't like Kofi. Is it because he's a small guy? WWE pushes small guys all the time. Doesn't really make sense to me. Like, Vince hasn't said anything other than you're just not championship material. That's not good enough to me. That's lazy writing. I want something deeper. I want a good reason as to why Vince doesn't support Kofi being WWE champion. It's very lazy writing in my opinion. But yeah, of course, by mentioning race, that's going to be very controversial with a lot of people. And, you know, it's a touchy subject. Even if the end result is Kofi winning the WWE title, it might rub people the wrong way. So I don't think WWE is going to go there. I don't think they're going to take the chance with that, knowing the backlash that it'll possibly get. I mean, if you go back to like 1997, the Nation of Domination had this race storyline where they were actually accusing Vince of being a racist. And it was quite controversial, but that was when the company was starting to get really hot and people wanted to see that edgier content, you know, with like the Nation of Domination's locker room being vandalized, and DX was accusing the Hart Foundation of it. That was definitely pushing the envelope back in '97. Let me do one more question here real quick. From Chris Manders. What do you think of my idea that it's revealed that the reason Vince McMahon keeps screwing Kofi Kingston is because Xavier Woods and Big E are putting him up to it due to their jealousy? Great storytelling in my opinion, and if Kofi wins at WrestleMania, it gives him 2 ready-made opponents. I like this idea, Chris Manders. To me, this is a really good alternative to the whole race storyline, where it's revealed that Vince was in cahoots with Big E and Xavier all along, and they were the ones that were getting in Vince's ear and telling him Kofi's not championship material, he's going to drop the ball, and Vince listened to them. That would be a nice twist. I would be perfectly fine with that. That would make sense. That would explain everything, and you could finally break up New Day. I like it. I would be all for it. I think it's a really solid idea, Chris Manders. So hopefully somebody out there that works for WWE is listening to this, because that's a solid idea. I'm not going to take credit for it. I'm not going to get mad if WWE steals the idea from Chris. Maybe he'll be upset, but I won't be upset. I say it's a solid idea. So I will go ahead and reopen Skype now. For those of you that are still wanting to call in, I know Big Shrimp Entertainment was trying, so maybe we can get him on and a few other people here. And I also have some more questions here. I do have one from Kyle Allen. He wants to know, should WWE have interim champions instead of Mr. Vacant title? By the way, Skype is open if anybody would like to call in. I know UFC has the whole interim championship thing, but I think it's fine as it is. You just vacate the title if you need to and crown a new champion. I mean, we did have... I guess the closest thing to an interim champion was when CM Punk quit, you know, after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and then John Cena won the interim championship, and then CM Punk came back, and you had the undisputed title match at not WrestleMania, SummerSlam. So you could do that, but I'm not really feeling like it's necessary. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the idea of an interim champion? in the chat room looking for some of your guys' feedback on that. Should WWE have an interim champion if somebody gets injured, and then once that person returns, they can have a match to crown an undisputed champion? What do you guys think? Screaming Sid says no. Caitlin says dumb. I don't think it's necessary personally. Screaming Sid says UFC has it and it waters down the title. I agree on that. I think it's not necessary, and it complicates matters even more than they need to be. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of it. Niam says, Buenos dias, señor Rift, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, de nada. Bradley says the format is fine as it is, and Hamp says no because it would happen twice a week. Very good point right there, Hamp. Let's see here. I have this question from the Unbearable Anime Fans. Do you believe WWE will have some of the women at WrestleMania have an attire based on Captain Marvel or some other Marvel character? Because for some reason, I see it happening for some reason. Yeah, I mean, it's possible considering the fact that we've had Rey Mysterio come out as different superhero characters over the years. And I could have sworn somebody did last year at WrestleMania. Maybe one of you guys can keep me up to speed on that. DJ Whitey with another $5 super chat. Oh, did I screw up, Caitlin? She says, Donata is your welcome, no problem, LOL. Yeah. I barely passed Spanish class in high school 20 years ago, so I apologize for that. DJ Whitey with a $5 super chat says, so it seems the Kofi storyline is the most intriguing of all the matchups. I would say for me personally right now, I'm most intrigued by Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. And they've done very little. They've kept it simple. They haven't screwed it up. That's why I like it. It's an interesting match, first of all, just because of the careers that they've had, and they really haven't crossed paths much in WWE, but also the fact that it's been kept simple, the build has been kept simple, and they haven't screwed it up yet. I feel like a lot of the other storylines have been overbooked and too many twists and turns. They've gotten convoluted, and they're just not as intriguing as they were when first announced. The Kofi storyline, again, if there's a nice twist, like New Day were in Vince's ear all along, you know, well, we have to wait and see. You know, I do agree with the people that say that. We do have to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, even though it's difficult at times. We got to wait and see how these storylines play out and see if there is a nice twist. And what's funny is sometimes I feel like WWE will change course with a storyline, and even though we give them credit for doing the right thing, they were never really intending to do the right thing. Perfect example, Daniel Bryan. I don't think Daniel Bryan was ever booked in 2013 to be the WWE champion at WrestleMania 30. I think what happened was WWE decided to turn him heel with that Wyatt family storyline, and then there was a huge backlash for that, and then CM Punk quit the company and all that stuff happened at the Royal Rumble, and WWE basically just decided to go with what the fans wanted and put the WWE title on Daniel Bryan. But I don't think that that was their plan. I mean, it looks like it, you know, considering what happened at SummerSlam with Randy Orton, but man, I don't think that that was their plan. I think that they changed course. So they may end up doing the right thing here with Kofi and making this all have logical reasoning behind it when it's all said and done. But then again, maybe they won't. Really hard to say at this point. All right, got this question here from Aaron Lewis at Chaotic450. With The Miz mentioning Vince in his SmackDown promo, do you think WWE should have Miz get some level of revenge on Shane by attacking Vince at WrestleMania? Could this add some extra sizzle to their storyline, or would it simply be overkill? Again, I think it would be overkill. I think the most intriguing storylines are the ones that are not overbooked and overthought. Vince also, I guess, yeah, you could get some heat on the match, but I don't think it needs any more heat. Vince is already doing the thing with New Day as it is, and I don't think Miz needs to resort to beating up Vince to make the storyline more interesting. All right, Jonathan's calling in. Hello, Jonathan. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. It's good to talk to you again.
Absolutely. I appreciate the call. So what's on your mind?
Is regarding who would you rather see lose at WrestleMania if you had to pick? Like out of the two, underdogs that WWE management haven't been supportive of, Becky Lynch or Kofi?
Well, I think Becky should win. Like, if Becky doesn't win, to me, that's going to be a huge letdown. Kofi, too, at this point, since there's been so much stock put into Kofi Kingston having to fight all the odds and then for him to not win the title. Unless, like I said, at WrestleMania, Big E and Xavier turn against Kofi and cost him the match. And we have this whole reveal that it was, in fact, Big E and Xavier that were in Vince's ear the whole time. And that's how Kofi doesn't win at WrestleMania. But other than that, I don't know how you could pull that off and not have the fans angry about that and not satisfied. And same thing with Becky. Like, all this build up, she's red hot. If she doesn't win at WrestleMania, I think that's going to cool her off like more than she perhaps already has. She needs to beat Ronda, as far as I'm concerned, at WrestleMania. She needs to beat Ronda, and then her and Charlotte can feud after WrestleMania. But yeah, I think Becky winning would be the bigger mistake, but I think both of them would be bad ideas to have them lose. You know, Rollins at this point, if he loses, yeah, people are going to be mad about Brock winning the title still, or retaining the title, I should say. But I think that would get the least amount of backlash of the three.
Yeah, I agree. And I like your idea of Xavier and Big E turning on Kofi, because that way they can also, Kofi could go back to maybe his old SOS gimmick.
Correct.
Not necessarily have the Jamaican accent back. Like Triple H killed that, but
right.
maybe make his own character again, and he can become his own. He doesn't have to. He can escape the New Day identity and come back into his own identity again. And maybe the worst case scenario of maybe I think the only way I could see Becky lose is if she's not pinned. If Ronda pins Charlotte, or Charlotte pins Ronda, but the fans will still be disappointed. But that would be the worst best case scenario in my opinion.
Right, yeah. Oh, people are going to be pissed. If Becky doesn't win, the crowd's just going to turn on the show, I feel. Like, although that might be the main event. But if it is the main event, then I don't see any other outcome other than Becky winning. Although last year, Roman was in the main event and did not win. But Becky's arguably way hotter as a babyface than Roman Reigns. So, yeah. That would be such a big letdown. People would be so bummed out. Like, it would have like such a negative vibe with people leaving the stadium. Like, for WrestleMania 31, when Rollins cashed in, I was there live for that. The crowd was just so happy about that, and there was just such a positive buzz when people were leaving the stadium. Like, everybody was high-fiving and everyone was in a good mood. Like, that's how you want to send people home. You want them to go home happy. Considering the fact that those people are spending a lot of money to travel for WrestleMania, you want to send them home happy. And WWE usually does that. If Becky doesn't win, it's going to be such a downer for that live crowd. And I don't know if that's something you want to do, if you're trying to get these people to buy tickets for next year's WrestleMania. Although I feel like they'll do it anyways, because we know how WWE fans are. They're extremely loyal, and they'll keep supporting even if they're disappointed.
I agree, and I'm rooting for Becky. I'm rooting for Kofi, and I'm definitely rooting for Seth too. I don't know what they're. It just seems like Brock Lesnar at this point. It just seems like they're using him as a placeholder,
right?
That's unfortunate because they can be doing so much for them, but I think he's being I think that you can only do so much with a guy that only shows up 6 days a year.
Pretty much. Yeah, I'm just fed up with it personally. But yeah, it would not shock me if he retains and he sticks around and he just they keep doing the same thing with him. Like I've said for the longest time, if Brock's going to stick around, at least do something with Paul Heyman turning heel against him and Brock's on his own against a new Paul Heyman guy. Just change it up. I'm sick of Heyman coming out there saying the same thing every week. It's just old to me. You know, I want to see a change.
Yeah, 5 years is too long for this repetition.
More like 7 years, because Brock came back in 2012, and I think Heyman was managing him by SummerSlam.
Yeah, I thought it was 2013 or something, but yeah, maybe you might be right.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for the call. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
Sure. Yeah, if you guys want to, follow me on Twitter, I go by JRO, aka the Other Z.
Right.
And yeah, man. Thanks for doing this live stream. Thanks for the chat. I look forward to seeing your predictions for WrestleMania.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, my friend.
All right, good one.
All right, take care. All right, that was Jonathan. Let's take another question here from Twitter, twitter.com/AaronRift. Make sure you're following me, by the way, especially if you go on Twitter a lot and you want the latest WWE news. Oh, Stefan's calling in. Hello, Stefan.
Hey.
How's it going, man? I'm glad you were able to call in today. It's I guess, early enough.
I'm just getting ready for work. I thought I'd call in and say hello.
Oh, rock on, man. So any comments or questions?
No, it's been a long 2 days of wrestling between NXT and NXT UK. We were up forever last night.
Don't you guys record till like 2 a.m. or something?
I think last night we were recording until like 3:30-ish in the morning. Because after we do the NXT UK NXT party, we kind of stick around and talk for an hour about wrestling, kind of off the record, but then it goes on to my channel.
Right.
Just as little bonus content.
Nice.
So everybody can look forward to that. But yeah, I noticed you posted the tea party. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
That was a fun tea party too. It's got a great hilarious open. I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. We say give 205 Live a chance, but give NXT and NXT UK a chance and check out Stefan's videos. They have a lot of passion about NXT, and you guys want some variety on the channel, so go check out their videos if you haven't.
Well, I can definitely say NXT UK is getting to the point to where it's finally got some storylines going, and it's not so much just watching a show that's got great wrestling. There's actually some story behind some stuff and some feuds that have been going on for a while and things like that. So it's a pretty fun show now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about WrestleMania because 17 matches, 7-8 hours long. This is going to be ridiculous, Aaron.
Oh yeah. Well, I've heard that they're talking about trying to cut down on the matches, but yeah, I don't know about that. Imagine trying to do like a live review. See, I will be here in Portland, so it's not going to be a problem for me, but imagine the people that will have to review WrestleMania after the pay-per-view ends on the East Coast. I feel bad for them.
I don't. I think they're probably prepared for that. It's WrestleMania usually goes late, and when they make it longer, they try to start it earlier so that we're not talking midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning when the subbitch ends.
Right. And what time is it for like the UK people when WrestleMania is over? Like, is it like 6 in the morning for them or something?
Oh God, it's got to be. Yeah, I think they're a 5-hour time difference.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be like 5 or 6 a.m. when it's over. It's going to be nuts.
That is crazy.
My thought is though, if it's 8 hours long, like. I know me and Jerry had one of his friends invite us over for WrestleMania, and it's like, I don't want to go to somebody's house for an 8-hour show.
Right.
I'm sitting at home to watch this thing. Like my own bathroom breaks, and I can pause the thing when I want to and like go do something and come back. Thank God it's on demand. But that's way too long. Like I was on board with a 5-hour show. I feel like for WrestleMania, that's appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely.
6, 7, 8 hours. Oh my God, you're like killing me.
Yeah, I know. Like 5 hours, I get it. It's WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. Give it a little bit more time, but yeah, like they're really pushing their luck with it. Oh, Greatest Gamer just sent in a $2 super chat. I guess you could answer this with me too. Do you think that this is the most underwhelming WrestleMania?
Yes, Jerry and Colin and I were talking about that last night on the report. I think Colin even said this might be the first time he isn't taking off for WrestleMania and he's just going to go to work.
Oh, geez. Wow. That's sad.
I mean, Jerry and I are taking off, but that's because NXT's on Friday now, the takeover. So we definitely have to be off on Friday in order to watch it. And then we'll end up recording our review afterwards. He wanted to go live, and I'm like, I think Aaron's going to be reviewing live. I definitely don't want to go head-to-head with Aaron Rift.
Right. Well, I mean, you can, but be prepared to be slaughtered.
Well, when he first asked if we were going live, I was like, have we hit 100 subscribers yet?
Right.
Nope. No live show yet.
Well, what's your channel? Let everybody know, because you said you do have some bonus content if people want to check it out.
The channel's Aftermatch Wrestling, all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. Our goal is 100 subscribers, and we're going to start doing What's NXT Live. That way we can hopefully get a couple of people on there to ask us questions and things like that.
All right, sounds good. Well, maybe one of these days we can have you live stream on the NoDQ channel, since Greg figured out how to do it without me having to give him my password. That could probably open the door for other people to do live streams as well. So maybe sometime, like maybe the next NXT UK pay-per-view, maybe you guys could do a live stream for that.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, just let me know how to do it. Other than that, what was it I was gonna mention something else, but it doesn't matter.
All right.
I want to free up the phone lines for somebody else to call in.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Stefan. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. Just go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to find me on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted.
Very nice. All right. Take care, my friend. Have a great day at work. Best you can.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Aaron.
Caitlin said, don't knock the waffle bar, because Caitlin and Aaron, shout out to Aaron, who's also in the chat room, the other Aaron. I think the three of us are going to be doing an NXT predictions video coming up soon. They're having this waffle bar for WrestleMania. I'm jealous that I'm missing out on that, but maybe next time. I'm sure next time you guys can get me in on the waffle bar. We can do it again. Glad to hear, Cindy, that your grandmother's doing well. Very happy to hear that. Let me do a couple more questions here. This one comes from Scott, at Briller Scott on Twitter. By the way, follow me, twitter.com/Aaron Rift. Hey, Aaron, first, NoDQ is the best in wrestling coverage. Appreciate that. My question for Friday. I think Drew McIntyre should go over clean. Beating Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns would put him back in the title picture. Your thoughts? Plus, I do not want Reigns to become Super Reigns like Cena was. I would not be surprised if there's a victory by Drew McIntyre. I could see him potentially beating Roman Reigns as this huge upset victory. I mean, WWE's really trying to build him up strongly. So you could potentially have McIntyre win to keep the heat going, and have Roman Reigns as more of a sympathetic underdog character. You know, they could push it as Roman Reigns has finally met his match, and ever since coming back, he's not quite at 100%. Does he still have it? So yeah, we could potentially do that. What do you guys think in the chat room? Do you think Drew McIntyre should beat Roman Reigns, or do you think Roman Reigns should beat him and move on to either Seth Rollins or Brock Lesnar? What do you guys think? I think for sustaining Roman's babyface reactions, I think it would be best for him to lose, just because if Reigns starts becoming Super Reigns, like Super Cena, I think it's going to be more likely the fans are going to start resenting him again, and it's going to move back in that direction. Darren G from the NoDQ Galaxy, I like that username, says, I say Drew tries to claim more, but on the second one, Roman Reigns spears for the win. Probably the finish. I mean, that's a very solid prediction right there. Stefan says if Rollins wins, it should be Drew going over. I agree on that, but if Brock wins, I would see Roman Reigns beating Drew and then going on to face Brock again. Bradley says the same thing. It depends on the outcome of Rollins versus Brock, but to build up Drew, he must win. Yeah, because there's been talk that Drew McIntyre was going to be Seth Rollins' next big opponent. That was going to be the next feud, and I think that match is already being advertised for upcoming WWE events, of course. Card subject to change. Caitlin says, I was going to call in, but I got nervous. Oh, come on, Caitlin. You called in before. Caleb Jacobs with the next question here. Thank you, Caleb. Do you think Paige should be in the WWE Hall of Fame to top off her career? I was watching Fighting With My Family. Very inspiring. Yeah, I would be fine with Paige going in. I think she was definitely at the forefront of the women's revolution. I mean, she was arguably the first star out of the modern day NXT to come up to the main roster, debuting the night after WrestleMania 30. So she was one of those pioneers of this women's revolution, along with AJ Lee. You know, AJ was part of NXT before it became the developmental brand, you know, when it was just the TV show. I would definitely be fine with that. Paige going into the Hall of Fame. She had a good career. She had a movie made about her. She's done a lot of interesting things in her life. So yeah, don't see an issue with that. I would not be shocked to see her go in whatsoever. And I think that would be absolutely fine. Got this one here from Russo at Time to Hunt 1. What the heck is going on with Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler? Is WWE just letting them sit out their contracts? Apparently, Bray Wyatt is going to be back on television soon. We keep thinking he's going to be back. He was at a house show not too long ago, but WWE hasn't brought him back yet. If they do, it'll probably be after WrestleMania at this point. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Let me answer this from Oscar. It wouldn't shock me if Bray is brought back, you know, in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. How's it going, Oscar?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? What is good, my brother?
It's all good right here in Portland, Oregon. Thank you so much for calling in. So I had this question about Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler. Time to Hunt 1 wants to know what's up with them, where are they at. Ziggler's doing his comedy shows, and he's just kind of doing his own thing here. Cindy just left a $2 super chat, says, Caitlin, don't be nervous, do it for the ladies. Yeah, he wants Caitlin to call in. Oh, now she says too late because you called in. Anyways, what's on your mind? What's going on?
Nothing much. I just have a question about the women's title match, and I'm going to bring up a comparison to Zack Ryder, but hang on, I think I can make a point, but I want to know your opinion.
Okay, sure.
So back in the day, remember the whole Ryder revolution? Ryder got hot. You know, we fans wanted him to get his U.S. title, not necessarily the world title, but the U.S. title. But creative was, I think, lukewarm. And we wanted it to happen at Survivor Series. The whole Madison Square Garden was chanting Ryder. He made his little cameo, and hell, even The Rock acknowledged him.
Yeah.
But creative made us wait till TLC, and then finally he got the title on that show. You know, the crowd went wild. I was happy too. But I felt it was a little too late because, again, I think their attention was, what was it? It was Truth and Miz versus The Rock and Cena. So my question is, can you possibly see them doing this here? I mean, it'd be gutsy if it's the triple threat match, it's WrestleMania, but Ronda wins, but since allegedly she's leaving sometime in April, can you see them give actually Becky the title at the next pay-per-view? Because WrestleMania is going to sell out. I mean, hell, I got my tickets the day the pre-sale got. So could you see them actually be like, well, we're going to tease you at Mania, but we're going to hold it until, I think it's Extreme Rules is next. So can you actually see them holding the grand Becky beats Ronda till the next pay-per-view?
That is certainly a possibility. Let's see. I think Money in the Bank is the next pay-per-view. I think it's more likely if that happens where, like, the title change gets held off a pay-per-view. I think that's more likely with, like, Kofi Kingston. Like I said, maybe Xavier and Big E turn against him, and then Kofi gets one more match at Money in the Bank and wins the title then. Or maybe even Seth Rollins and Brock face off at the next pay-per-view, or Saudi Arabia, and Rollins wins the title there, or something like that. I would be shocked if Becky doesn't leave WrestleMania as champion. I think she's going to win it. And I don't like the idea of the fans leaving disappointed at the end, especially if that match is closing the show, which I think it would. And theoretically it should, but then of course everyone's talking about how WWE has ruined up the build-up for it a little bit. But yeah, I still think it should close the show. I still think Becky should win the title.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be my first WrestleMania. I missed out 6 years ago because a friend of mine got married in Kentucky, and I was actually trying to win tickets to WrestleMania 29, but then when I realized, oh no, it's the same weekend as my friend's wedding.
Right.
So I would hope my first Mania is a good one, and if the women's match does end the show, I would like all 80,000 of us to go home happy, and I'd love to call in after the show for your review, Aaron, if it's all right, after Mania.
Yeah.
Give you my personal experience of how it went and all that, so yeah, I hope they do the right thing, but it is WWE, it is WWE Creative, and me along with all my friends, we're gonna tailgate there. We're all a little scared, like we want Becky to win, we want that feel good moment, we want to go to work the next day, like, oh my gosh, I saw an awesome Mania. But we're a little hesitant because, like you said, the build-up's been and Kofi, I think, yeah, I'll agree with you, the next pay-per-view. But Seth, we hope Kofi and Becky do have that moment. But like you've been saying before, will WWE give us all these feel-good moments? I guess, like you like to say, time will tell.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, thank you so much for calling in, Oscar. Anything you would like to plug or promote?
The only thing is, again, if it's possible, I'd love to be part of also your pre-show panel of predictions. If it's all possible, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, it might not be because I'm going to be out of town around that time, so it may be tricky trying to set it up. But if I can make it happen, I'll let you know. I mean, I don't even know how I'm getting that done yet, so I got to figure that out. But I can definitely get you on afterwards if you're able to stay up for it, because, I'm probably going to be doing like a 2-hour review video. It's going to be friggin' nuts. I may try to take calls earlier because I know people on the East Coast are going to be tired.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till I get to my car, or MetLife Stadium's only 15-minute drive from me, from my house to the stadium.
Nice.
However, with traffic and all that, I'm a night owl anywho. My wife will probably fall asleep, but I'll be up, and I'll gladly call when there's a chance after Mania. I don't care what time it is, but who cares about the 3-hour difference?
Right. Hey, I gotta let you know that I will probably be in New Jersey in the summer, and if I do, we gotta meet up. We gotta meet up and go to Frankenstein's Pizza.
Frankenstein.
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
My wife, I took her a while back. She liked it. I liked it. A couple friends of mine went. We loved it. So yeah, if you're in the summer, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Send me a message if you're going to be here. We'd love to host you. We'd love to take you there, bro.
That would be awesome. I will keep you posted on that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Hey, no problem, man. Once again, thanks for all the great job you do in NoDQ, and good luck with everything. And I can't wait to see the rest of the videos, bro.
All right, take care, man. Have a great one.
You too, man.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, so that was Oscar. Oh, Cindy, that's a nice comment. Long live Zoog's Rift. Check out Aaron's dad's music on Spotify. Yeah, Zoog's Rift, Z-O-O-G-Z. If you know who Frank Zappa is and you like that kind of experimental, weird music, go check out my dad's channel on Spotify. Scott Briller with a $2 super chat says, Aaron, who do you think will face Asuka at WrestleMania? Would not shock me if that turns out to be a multi-person match, but I know they're doing a Fatal 4-Way next week. Right now, I would lean towards Sonya Deville being the challenger. I feel like WWE is going to push her, so if it's going to be one person, maybe Sonya, but would not shock me if like the whole thing just gets thrown out and they do like a five-woman match on the kickoff or some crap. I mean, anything's possible. Oh, wow. Got a $20 super chat here from DJ Whitey. Thank you so much, DJ. What do you think of this idea, Aaron? Randy Orton interviews Samoa Joe, EC3, and so forth about AJ Styles' success in the Indies, and they say he kissed Dixie's ass and all the other promotions' bosses asked to get ahead, and he was never the most talented. That would be interesting. Again, I know Randy Orton mentioned Dixie Carter on SmackDown. He threw the little reference to her, but I don't know if he's going to keep mentioning that. That may have just been a one-off to set up WrestleMania and, make that reference to get people oohing and awing. But I don't know if they're going to follow up on that. I don't mind him doing that, you know, but I don't think WWE is going to give Impact and Dix, even though she's not affiliated with them anymore. I don't know if WWE is going to give her any more attention. I think that was just like a one-off thing, a little nod to the hardcore fans, and I think that was that. And again, I don't think they need to over-complicate things, but I mean, they could theoretically do a storyline where, you know, those guys got together, you know, that represented the Indies or TNA, and they were feuding with the older guys like WWE. I mean, they could do like a new version of the Millionaire Club versus the New Blood or whatever from WCW. But then again, is that really a storyline you want to be recreating, one that wasn't particularly successful? So yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, DJ. But thank you so much for that super chat. Very much appreciated. And thank you for that call a couple weeks ago after Raw. That was much appreciated. All right, guys, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for this edition of No DQ Live or No DQ&A Live. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for calling in, everybody. Thank you for the questions. I definitely feel I'm going to do this more often. I think No DQ&A, I think I'm going to transition this from doing the pre-taped videos to doing this live every week or maybe every other week. I really like how this turned out. So yeah, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding WrestleMania. Follow me at Twitter, Aaron Rift. For now, that is the place on Twitter if you want to get the WWE news updates, since the NoDQ.com account is in limbo right now. It's been locked and I'm having trouble getting access to it, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. And that's all I got for this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you can get the latest updates as they become available. There's that little bell icon. Make sure you click on it and just spread the word. Word of mouth really goes a long way. If you have a friend who watches wrestling, if you're at WrestleMania, oh, shout out to Caitlin's dad, Bill. I'm sure Bill's watching this right now. Thank you for watching, Bill. I appreciate it. Caitlin, you should have called in. You could have been the last caller tonight, but oh well, I suppose. Make sure you follow everybody. Follow Virtue, NoDQ.com/Virtue, and check out his Virtue's Rage videos on Facebook. I think the Twitter account has a link. I don't know the exact link to his Facebook. I think NoDQ.com/Virtue goes to I think it goes to his Twitter account. And also a shout out to Caitlin's mom, Mary. Shout out to Aaron again. And yeah, shout out to Cindy and the rest of Team No DQ. Thank you to Stephen Osborne for calling in. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys again, and I will see you all